Yeah, I think my number one objective is confidence. I want them to feel confidence and I want them to leave a shoot thinking they can conquer the world now. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
I think confidence is the number one thing in being a business owner to have, and actually in life, really. It's the most attractive thing in a person, you
right.
know? So I think I want my clients to feel confident when they look at their pictures. It's very important to me.
Hello and welcome to the Smart Business Owner Podcast with your host. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Schubert, your host with the Smart Business Owner Podcast. And today we have a treat. We have Chrissy Brahney. She is a photographer, freelancer photographer in the West Palm area. And Chrissy is here to share her story, her journey to becoming a business owner. Chrissy, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, Chrissy, obviously, I've known you for a while, but our audience have not. For those of out there that do not know you, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background, and so people can get to know you a little bit.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I am a personal branding photographer. I also do events and families, but my niche, my baby is personal branding. I guess how I got started in it, like what drew me to photography was just the pictures, the art of it, the beautiful, artistry of it. And I wanted to recreate that. So I started out as a hobbyist doing landscapes and stuff. And then my daughter was born, and I practiced a lot with her, and I started doing families. So yeah, and that's pretty much how I got into it, I guess.
Photography is very. I mean, this is a very. It's a career that a lot of time people want to become a photographer, but they don't know where to start. What would you say for you was the moment when you knew that you wanted to become a photographer?
I guess it was trying to think. There's not like a specific moment, but like I said, I started, it was a hobbyist and it's an expensive hobby, cameras and everything.
Right.
And I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and I decided to put a little more energy into it and start a business. And then fast forward, I was doing families, friends, and stuff to get practice because practice is important to get better at it. So then I had a friend reach out and I did their engagement photos and they wanted me to do their wedding. And I have never done a wedding before. So I told them no like 3 times. I'm like, guys, I'm not doing it. I don't think I can. This is a big moment for people. It happens, you get one shot at everything.
Right.
So they finally convinced me to do it. And yeah, it ended up turning out gorgeous. The pictures were
Wow.
beautiful. They were happy with it. So I decided to pursue it a little more and make it an actual business.
That's
So,
good. That's good. Now, when you're looking at those pictures, would you say what was that particular jobs, that particular friends that made you realize that you wanted to turn pro and make it more than a hobby, or was it something else?
I mean, it wasn't one thing. It was a collectiveness of shooting these families and providing them with these memories and just beautiful pictures. And they were just so happy with them. So I decided, hey, I can do this, you know?
Yeah, because
So
a lot of time people don't realize that photography is something that stays with us for a lifetime. When you take a
yes,
picture, and especially those moments, and you capture those moments, so it's a big deal. Now,
it is.
when it comes to equipment, these things, they're very fancy. See those lenses. Can you talk about your process of selecting different type of equipment that you use to make sure that the job is being done correctly?
Sure, yeah. So I shoot with Nikon. There's I mean, every camera is good out there. You can't go wrong with Canon, Sony, everything. I just happened to start out with Nikon and just kept with it. As far as lenses, I have a 24 to 70, which is a wide angle lens, which you get the whole scene in. And then I have a 70 to 200, which is a zoom, and it's just a very beautiful picture. so,
Right.
but you need both. So, I usually have two cameras on me. So I have that diversity. And then if the
Do you usually
lighting,
shoot with both, or is just as a backup?
no, I'll bring both to a shoot. Yeah, for sure. So, because if it's a backup and if I want that lens real quick and in the moment, I need to have it on me. So I like to have two cameras on me. And then I have a flash if I need to, fill the light in somewhere.
Oh, so you
So
so it depends on the type of shot you're looking to capture. Sometimes it could be so
sure.
you
And
have both lenses on both cameras, different type of lenses, and then you say, okay, I need this lens for this particular shoot, and you use it, and vice versa.
sure. Yes. Yeah. It all depends, what I'm shooting. The situation is never the same with any shoot, honestly.
Wow,
So you just have to be ready for everything.
wow,
Yeah.
makes things
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's fun. Keeps me on my toes for sure.
that's good. Now, what about
Yeah.
somebody that do not have a fancy camera? Somebody that's not like you but love photography. And let's just say, for
Sure.
example, they're using the smartphone. It could be an iPhone or an Android. How does that work? I mean, is there, can they play with the settings to make sure things are correctly? Can you share a little bit about us on that
Yeah.
end?
Yeah, sure. So phone cameras have definitely come a long way. You can definitely get a good picture with it. So I believe in doing so, lighting is everything. That is number one. So you want whatever light source you have on you. So for instance, say you're inside and it's daytime outside and you're
Right.
inside and you want to take a picture. You want to find a window and have that window light on you. You need the light on you. It creates such a beautiful, flattering
So
photo.
that's the number one thing. They
Um,
need to make sure that they have the proper
yes,
lighting.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And then other than that, I mean, they have pro settings and stuff which you can mess around with. But I mean, I think for iPhone or I'm sorry, phone users, I believe lighting is number one, and then it's the composition, really.
The composition
So
of the room, things, the way
yes,
things are.
yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Now, my understanding is that before you do a shoot, there is a planning session that you do with your clients to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Can you talk about this process
Yes.
a little bit?
Yeah. So for my personal branding photo shoots, we do have a planning session, and it is very important because coming into these shoots, you want to capture shots with intention. So you need to have a planning session. And in our planning session, we go over location, wardrobe. How are you using these pictures? Are they going to be for your website, social media? Do you have any speaking engagements coming up? Do you have an announcement? We go over all that and we create a shot list. So when it comes time for your photo session, we're ready. We're going to capture these photos that you need for your business. Yeah.
So basically, you're looking at what their goals.
Hmm.
If it's for a particular event and understanding. Do you advise them on clothing, what to wear, and the
Oh,
attire?
yes,
Does that
yes.
make it?
So in this planning session, we come up. So I figure out what your brand colors are, the vibe of your whole business, everything, and then we come up with wardrobe ideas and everything. And so after the planning session, I send a planning shoot guide, and this has everything we discussed in the planning session, along with inspiration for wardrobe and inspiration for posing as well.
Do you do that maybe a week prior to the time you do the shooting, or can it be done the day of or the day before?
The planning session.
Yes.
Yes, no, we do this. I mean, I would say about 3 weeks to about a month out. So
So,
you
so,
can prepare then.
so there's some preparation that goes into
There
it.
is preparation. Oh, and also we create a prop list. So this is stuff that we could use for close-up shots, whether you're working on your laptop, your phone, if you have documents you want to, show people that you offer.
That's good.
So
That's
we come
good.
up with a prop list as well. Yeah.
That's
Goodness. So in the beginning, I think all the shoots were challenging, honestly, because in the beginning, fake it till you make it is a real thing.
right.
You're like, people will call me, can you do this? And if it's something completely out of my realm, but I do think I can do it, I let them know that I've never done this type of shoot before, but I'm willing to take it on. And then I think that's very important, to be upfront with your clients.
Right.
But I've been successful at all of them. So I guess one that really got me in the beginning was a baby shower, and it was on Palm Beach Island, and it was at the Sailfish Club. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever been there. It is
Yeah, I have.
beautiful, right?
Yes.
Right. So I had never been there, but so I walk in and it is a room and it is all
Wow.
windows, which is
Is that
terrible
good?
for
Is that
me.
good or bad?
No, because then the light will be behind your subject and they will be dark. So this
Mm.
is right. So this is the first time I ever had to use flash on a job. And I was scared because I've never done it before. So I took out my flash, I did a couple practice shots and stuff, but they ended up turning out beautiful. So it ended up working out, thank goodness.
That's good. So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to use the professional. Let the professional do what they do
Yes.
best.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
what would you say when it comes to setbacks? Because obviously, as a professional, as a business owner, now I know that you stated that your friend is the one that encouraging you to from going into that field, but as an entrepreneur, it's challenging. It's not something that that's easy. What
Sure.
would you say, being an entrepreneur, a moment that was a setback for you, but turns out to be the best thing that could have happened to you because that helped you enhance your career and become more successful.
Yeah. So I don't think it was like ever a mistake or anything I did, but it was hesitation. And it was hesitation of niching down. So I started out doing the families and the weddings and everything. And about 3 to 4 years ago, I got into personal branding and I loved it. But I was so scared to just I'm not just offer that because I offer everything still, but just to niche down to that for marketing purposes, because I still love the families. I love the couples. I love the weddings. I love all of that. But I think it's important to focus and put all your energy on one thing to be really great at it.
Right.
And that's what I did with the personal branding. So I recently just redid my whole website and it's geared towards that. And it has my wedding, or I'm sorry, my families and events on there as well. But I am focusing solely on this. And I honestly feel that I'm getting busier because of it. I am being recognized as a personal branding photographer, which I absolutely love.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, what would you say your personal definition of success is, and how do you measure it?
So, my personal definition of success, I would say, is definitely freedom to live the life you want to. And I am definitely working towards that. I'm not there yet. But how I know I am like going in the positive way is that in doing this, I'm able to work from home. I'm able to make my own schedule. I'm able to do all that. And
So,
so in
freedom is a
turn,
big thing for you.
huge thing. And in turn, so I have an 11-year-old daughter. And anytime if she's sick or she has a field trip or anything where she needs me, I can do that. I don't have a 9 to 5 where I'm like, oh baby, I can't be there. I can be there for her, which is huge for me.
Now,
Yeah.
photography can be challenging because it's not a mainstream career. It's a very niche career. What would you say one thing that on a daily basis that keeps you motivated and going back to say, hey, I love what I do. I want to go back every day and do more photography. What would you say that's that
Yeah.
one thing that
Well,
keeps you
I
going?
mean, obviously my passion for it. I love it. I love everything about it. I love working with people. I am a people person. I know I might be the minority, but I genuinely like people. I love working with them. And then I love working with entrepreneurs. I love creating, a gallery of gorgeous pictures that they can use throughout their business. That's probably it. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the type of service that you offer, it's you mentioned baby shower, a wedding. Uh, do you do also corporate events? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I have not done corporate events.
Okay.
I can, but I have not. Yeah, I've
Okay.
not done corporate events. Yeah.
When it comes to failures, what would you say? The one thing that you have learned that help you bounce back from failure?
Gosh, I guess just, just keep going. You have to keep going. I mean, imposter syndrome is a real thing, and it's a huge thing with photographers and probably any artist because, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
So you kind of get in your own head sometimes, but I think you just cannot compare yourself to other people. And
Right.
so I try to stay positive. And don't get me wrong, I get in my own head, and I can just be down on myself and be like, I'm not good enough. But in the end, I am good enough. It's just, I
Do-
just have to, you have to believe in yourself and just keep going.
right. So I was watching masterclass. I don't know if you ever done any of those masterclass, and there was a masterclass about intelligence. It was people that
Hmm.
used to work for the government that were doing that particular masterclass. And one of the things that I've learned from that was one of the speaker was a woman speaker, and she stated that when she first started doing public speaking after she left the working from the government and going to the
Hmm.
private sector, and her voice was a little bit shakier, and she was a little bit uncomfortable. And one of her mentor pulled her aside and said, "Do you know more about these topics than anybody in this room?" And she said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, act like it,
I
because
know.
if you are the expert, you need to act like it." So it's kind
Yeah.
of like exactly what you said. You have to have the courage and
And
keep showing up.
yeah, I like that. Act like it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that.
it
Yeah.
was a really good masterclass. Now, what would you say some of the misconception people have about photography? Sometimes you would hear somebody
Mm-hmm.
would say something as, "Oh, well, it's super expensive," or "Do we really
Mm-hmm.
need that?" Or, "We have
Mm-hmm.
smartphone. Why don't we just take the picture with our phones?" What do you say?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the misconceptions around photography that you can clear up for us today?
Sure. So I think you said, I can just take it with my phone. You
Right,
can, you can even take it with my camera, but you don't have the knowledge I do. You know what I mean? You don't have the composition, the light, the eye that I do. And I can tell people how to pose, what to do. And usually it's the mom or, the dad behind the camera and they're not in the picture. So I think hiring a professional photographer is great for that, getting everybody in the shot. Um, Misconceptions, yeah, it's not cheap to run a photography business by any means.
I
And I
bet.
think people, right, and I think people just think we go and we do the hour shoot with them. We come home, we do a tiny bit of editing, upload the pictures, and they're good to go. But that's not the case. We come home and we edit for hours.
Wow,
And
it's
then,
time
but to
consuming.
Right. Yes, time consuming, but also we have business expenses. We have courses that we'd like to take. And these courses, these photography courses can be a couple $1,000s for one course.
Right.
So it's not a cheap thing,
I bet.
unfortunately.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the time of the day to do photography, is there a particular time, and is there a reason why you like to shoot a particular time?
Yes. So the sweet spot is called the golden hour. So it's either sunrise, which not many people want to wake up for that, but it's one of my favorites. It's gorgeous. Or about an hour before sunset. Now, the reason for this, if you do it during the day where the sun is high, you're going to get shadows all over your face. So when the sun is low in the sky, you just get that really pretty, very flattering light on you. No
Like
shadows.
around 4, 5 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a shoot today and I'm going to meet them like around 4:30. Yeah. So,
Oh, okay. I had
yeah.
I didn't know that. See, you learn something every day.
Yeah. See?
So we live in a world where we cannot get away from social media. Social
No.
media is everywhere. Now, can
Yes.
you talk about the role that social media plays in your the way you do things, and also how do you use it to reach new clients?
Sure. So social media is a photographer's best friend. I think it was made for photographers because on it's a visual platform. So I feel it's a very strong platform to connect with people. And it's very strong for entrepreneurs, for, business owners to have social media because like you said, you're not getting away from it.
No,
Everybody's on it and it's at your fingertips. You can, pull it up whenever you want. So I think it's a pretty strong platform and it's important to use. And it's been it's been my best friend. Um,
that's good. That's good.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what would you say to somebody that he feels a little bit uncomfortable being in front of a camera? Because some people are just
Mm-hmm.
timid or shy.
Yeah, sure. So I would say that's when you need to connect with your photographer. That's why I like my planning sessions and stuff. I usually like to meet in person because if you're comfortable with your photographer, it's going to show. And then at that point, it's up for the photographer to pose you, to tell you what to do. And hands are the biggest thing. What do I do with my hands? And so when it comes to that, I like to give people an action to do, so they feel a little more comfortable, like either walking or if it's a couple, do a little dancing or,
Right.
that's when you get the real moments
That's
for
good.
sure.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Now, when you create a shoot for somebody, is there something in particular you want them to feel when they're looking back at those pictures you took for them? Is
Oh,
there something that
100%.
you're looking to create? Can you talk about what's your objective behind every shoot that you do for your clients?
Yeah, I think my number one objective is confidence. I want them to feel confidence and I want them to leave a shoot thinking they can conquer the world now. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I think confidence is the number one thing in being a business owner to have, and actually in life, really, it's the most attractive thing in a person.
Right.
So I think I want my clients to feel confident when they look at their pictures. It's very important to me.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you are involved with the Polo Club here in Wellington, and
Yes.
they haven't started yet. But when you're doing a shoot like this, where you have people on horses riding, very fast, going 10, 20 miles per hour, what are you looking to capture? Can you walk us through that? Somebody that never been to a polo match. Can you walk us
Yeah.
that process as far as what you're looking to capture and what you want those players to see when you're showing them those photography that you took?
Sure. Yeah. So for the Polo Club, I am there to capture the fan experience for their social media platforms. So I walk around the brunch side and capture people having fun and drinking. And then the horses are so close to you. So capturing that picture with people, having a good time with the horses right behind them. It's amazing. So I've been with them for 2 seasons now, and I knew nothing about polo when I first went out there. And it is such a fun experience. I encourage anyone, if you've never been, to go at least to one game this year and check it out because you'll be hooked. It's something different and it's right in our backyard, you know? So
Yeah, so
yeah, it's amazing.
every time I go there, and we usually help them with those. Gotta go on the field after the match is over. Help them
Yes.
with
Yeah.
putting the little piece of
Yeah.
grass back together and drinking champagne. It's a very family event, I would say. Getting in there, hanging out with your friends and family
Yeah.
on a Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon.
There's a lot of families there, and it's awesome. I love photographing polo because everyone is dressed to the nine. Everyone's in good moods and having fun, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's polo is really fun. Now,
Hmm.
let me circle back just a little bit when it comes to entrepreneurship. What would you say one thing when it comes to entrepreneurship that you can share with somebody that out there that is an entrepreneur or aspiring to become an entrepreneur that have served you well and that you can share with us?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing for me, and that has honestly, um, I guess it was a pivotal moment in my business, was doing in-person networking. In-person networking has been huge for me. So, I mean, we belong to Professional
Yeah,
Referral Exchange. We
right,
meet every Tuesday morning,
right.
and I can tell you it has been amazing. The connections that I've made through it. And there's nothing better than meeting someone in person, and just creating that connection with them. So I
So,
think I think I think that's very
so you think
important.
entrepreneurs they need to get out there, get in within their community, and
Yes.
get involved in some type of referral group and presenting the
Yes.
business.
Yes. And I mean, even events, if there's events going on, find out who your client is and what events they attend and attend them, you know? So I think that's
That's
huge.
that's amazing. I mean, that's interesting that you said that. I think I've read that in a book a while back. You have to be at the location where your client's going to be instead
Hmm.
of
You do.
waiting for them to call you. You should go to where you know they're going to be and meet them.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And
Yeah,
in person, I'm telling you, you cannot form a relationship over the phone, email, any of that you can do in person. It's just different.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Businesses, during the pandemic, we had no choice. We had to do everything remotely. We had, that's
Right.
when Zoom exploded. Everybody was doing everything remotely. But we both know that, I think a lot of people would agree. There's nothing that's going to replace the human experience. Have being,
Mm-mm.
in the same room, the same space, could be for lunch, an event with another business owner or
Sure.
entrepreneur. I think it's nothing's going to replace
Yeah.
that.
Nope.
Now,
Mm-mm.
how long since you've been with the group, and has been the experience? Would you say it's been successful being with a professional referral exchange?
Yeah, so I just signed up for, oh my gosh, I think going on my fourth year. So I've been with
Wow.
them for 3 years now. Yeah. And yes, it has been very successful for me. I mean, yeah, and I've met some amazing people through there. And then the group that we have, it's family, you know, it's doesn't even feel like a job going to it or anything. So I think it's been amazing. And it's helped me with my public speaking. I'm sure people are sick of hearing me say that, but that was the number one reason why I joined
You know,
because I hate public speaking.
what's interesting? I think there was a study done that shows that the number one fear for Americans is public speaking.
I
Number
will
one
agree with
fear.
that. Yes.
Even though it doesn't kill you, but
Doesn't
people
matter.
fear it.
Yeah. Because I mean, what if you like, stumble over your words or you say something wrong? It's that fear that hasn't happened yet, which is silly. I know, but it's fear in any rate. But
So
yeah.
that being part of the group help you significantly with your public speaking, because
Oh,
every week you
yeah.
have to see all those people in your group and present your business a little bit, do your presentation. So you
Yep.
have no choice. You have to do it.
You have no choice. And I remember the first meeting I went to, I had no idea we had to do that. And then everyone's going around and my heart was going. I
Sus, sus,
mean, I
sus,
was
sus.
like, it's, yeah. And I got up and I did it. And I'm like, and that's the reason I joined the group because it scared me. And that's my new thing. I'm doing things out of my comfort zone. You have to grow.
So would
So,
you say that get out of your comfort zone to the other business owner out there, or anybody listening, that something that scares them, they need to get out there and do it.
oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Take it head on. Yeah, you do.
That's good.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
What would you say the number one mistake you see entrepreneur make?
Um, oh, I don't know. You know what? And I do struggle with this too, is consistency. Consistency in marketing. Consistency, I guess. Yeah, it's like probably
The marketing would
number
be,
one.
along your lines, and being able to use social media
Right.
more.
Right.
Even though we know that a lot of time when business owners get into trouble within the business, the first thing they cut is marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they're probably gonna cancel the photo shoot, cancel the social media ad. That's the
Yeah.
first thing they
Right.
do,
Right.
historically
Uh,
speaking. So,
sure.
and you
Yeah.
think that's the number one mistake you see them make, not being
Yeah.
consistent, and also not, not enough marketing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it's hard. Like, so I always said, if I had to go back and do this over again, I would go to school for business and marketing because I can shoot, I know how to, photography is my thing. I got that down. It's the business side that I have struggled with over the years for sure.
That's good. That's good, because a lot of
So,
time, a lot of folks, they're very talented.
hmm.
If you could be, they are CPA or the doctor or a lawyer, they do what they do well. But the side they struggle with is getting the phone to ring, getting people to
Right.
call in, and then being able to help those people, because it doesn't really matter if you're great at what you do if nobody knows about you.
Right, exactly. Yep. So, and then that's why I went to the personal branding because I know they say photography is a luxury, it's not a necessity, but I feel for entrepreneurs, it is a necessity, to have those pictures out there, professional pictures to
Right.
show, that you're at that level.
What about
Mhm.
headshots? Is that something that you recommend to your clients as well? Have professional
Oh, yeah.
headshots?
Yep, headshots are definitely important. So for me, my headshots, I don't do the corporate headshot. I don't do, the plain background, whatever. Mine is more of a lifestyle headshot.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah. So, and then that is included in my branding sessions. In my branding sessions, you get headshots, you get stock photos, you get engaging photos, your personality, and you also get productivity shots. So you get a lot of different photos that you can use in your branding
A lot
sessions.
of bang for your buck, and a lot of bang
Yeah.
for your buck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you say is your number one thing or number one secret when it comes to performance? To be able to perform on a day-to-day basis, what would you say is your secret to
I don't
ultimate
know my
performance?
secret. Um, I don't know. Just maybe just doing one at least. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Now, if you were, let's just say, for example, if you were starting out today, the young Chrissy that's just starting out as being, excited about becoming a photographer. What was that
Hmm.
one thing, one advice would you give yourself to knowing what you know now? What would
Yeah.
you tell yourself then if you
Mm,
can go
my
back?
gosh. Right. Well, definitely start younger. I mean, you can start this profession, funny enough, in high school. If you have like the eye and everything, you can get out there and do it. So I definitely would have started younger, like in my 20s and stuff. So I've been doing this for 8 years now. I start younger. And then, like I said before, focus on the marketing and business aspect of it as well. Really, a little more.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
basically, it's making sure that marketing and being consistent, as you said before, is key.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Any final
Definitely.
thought on entrepreneurship and photography?
Um, yeah, I just entrepreneurship and photography. I guess the thing is with photography, the entrepreneurship, you have to keep at it. You're gonna
Right.
have down days, you're gonna think you're not good enough. And a lot of photographers, they 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 don't go on anymore because they don't think they can do it, but you can, you know. And I hate that cliche thing saying where, if I can do it, you can do it, because that's not, everyone's different. That's not the truth.
Right.
But I think if you have a passion for it and you keep at it, and if you price yourself right, I think you can be very successful at it for sure.
So, can you talk a little bit more about that? What do you mean by if you price yourself right? Do you think that sometimes people would overprice themselves or underprice themselves? What exactly do you mean?
No, so I definitely think underpricing is an issue. I mean, you have photographers out there that are doing sessions for $50 and giving away 40 pictures. It's like, how are you even, how do you have a business at that point?
Right.
Um, but I just feel like there's a gray area, and that's the area you don't want to be in. You don't want to be too cheap for the expensive people, and you don't want to be too expensive for the cheap people. So you kind of got to get out of that gray area to be successful. And it's all about pricing yourself right, doing your cost of business, and figuring out what you need to have that freedom in life. Yeah.
So basically, being fair to the people you serve and also being fair to yourself.
100%. Yes. Yeah. Obviously not overcharging. You have to be fair, but you also have to charge your worth. So
Now,
I think that's very important.
in this economy, do you find that the reason people probably underpricing themselves it could be because of the economy or the way things
I
are?
Right. I think they may start at whatever price point, and if they're not getting any bookings, they're going to lower their price. Well, I think you should higher your price if that's the case, and you need to find a different clientele. Then you need to look for that, the higher clientele, and see where they're going, and
What do you think about niching? Do you think it's a good marketing strategy? Find a niche and instead of flowing a broader net, and because in your floor boiler net, you're going after everybody. But if you're
Right.
niching out, you're
Yes.
down to a segment of the population. What do you
Yes.
what do you think about that? Do you think it's is that something, have you used that in the past?
So yeah, like I said, that was the pivotal moment for me in my career when I did niche down. I redid my whole website and it's all on there, and it's about educating your clients, right?
Right.
And so my website educates them why they need it, how they can use it, what I offer, how, the whole process and everything. And if I did families and weddings and all that other stuff, I couldn't just focus on that one thing. I would have to talk about everything. And I think people would get overwhelmed and they just wouldn't book me. Now they're going to book the person when they go to their website and say it's, a couple getting married and their whole website's about weddings. They're going to hire that person over the person who has weddings. I don't know, weddings, events, families. I mean, pet photography, food
Birthday
photography.
parties.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very important to niche down, and it's hard to do, like I said, because I love shooting everything. But it's very important too.
So I think it's very important to love what you're doing, because you know what they say: if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
I know. I like that saying.
Well,
It is true.
that's all for today, folks. Chrissy, if the folks want to get a hold of you, I can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. So my website is chrissybrahneyphotography.com. And then I'm on Facebook and social media, or Instagram as well.
Okay.
So,
Wow, it's been an awesome conversation, Chrissy. Thank you for sharing your passion with us. It was a pleasure having you here, folks.
Yeah.
That's all we have for you today. I hope you learned a ton about photography. Don't take those pictures by yourself. Call
No.
a professional to help you
Yes.
with the branding. So, Chrissy, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the Smart Business Owner Podcast. See you in the next episode.